front of me. Who'll get your tears if you can't catch me, darling? If you can't catch me, darling. Don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. A bottle of water can't hold me close, baby. Can't hold me close, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and we'll happily. Please don't cry no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me, hey. My snowman and me, baby. Don't cry, snowman, don't you fear the sun. Who'll carry me without legs to run, honey? Without legs to run, honey. Don't cry, snowman, don't you shed a tear. Oh, hear my secrets if you don't have ears, baby. If you don't have ears, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and we'll happily. Please don't cry no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me, hey. My snowman and me, baby.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Christmases be white, and may all your Christmases be white. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let's get these windows situated. So we have Mel producing the show again this morning. Hello, Mel. Oh, you're on mute, Mel.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are.
Depending on what part of the world you're in. I apologize to our Pacific coasters, our left coasters in the United States. I know this is early, but I wanted to start doing these live streams earlier for a lot of our members who live in Europe. So a lot of them have been struggling to stay up late for our live streams. So I wanted to do something where, we can accommodate the mornings of the right coasters on the east coast of the United States as well as those across the Atlantic. So hopefully this time works for everyone. Obviously, you can also watch it while once it's done streaming, it'll be available for you to watch later. So I want to cover a couple of things. I just want to remind everyone, Shadow Academy is coming in 2024. We will be on set offering film school, and Shadow Academy will be covering cinematography, lighting. Again, this is a narrative filmmaking channel, so all post-production, pre-production, production courses will be around narrative filmmaking. We'll also be covering sound mixing, sound design, color grading, editing, everything you would want in an online film school. For the production part of the course, we will obviously be on set. We will be bringing in actors to teach that course. So we're super excited about it. Obviously, that would be in front of the camera. We're not going to have actors actually teaching the course. They will be in front of the camera, acting as on-screen talent. So just a heads up on that. We're planning on launching that in the January timeframe. Just a reminder again to everybody, put your questions and your comments in the chat, and Mel will call them out to me so I can hear them. Mel, why don't we get some ambient music going for everybody? All right, so one of the things that I wanted to cover today is the importance of also checking your videos, your film, whatever you're editing, whether it's a TV show or a feature, check it out on your OLED television. Now, why your OLED TV? Can anyone tell me? Does anyone know? Can you put in the comments? The big reason is because of the true blacks. OLEDs are blacks. They're definitely going to be a lot more black than your computer monitor. So they're going to be rich, true blacks. And so your film that you are checking, if you don't really have anything but like a consumer monitor that you're grading on, will help you see how dark it's going to look on television sets. And if you're delivering to movie theaters, so we've done 5 or 6 deliveries to AMC movie theaters at this point, and even the projectors at movie theaters are just, they're getting better and better. A lot of theaters are moving to digital projectors as well, and those are coming in really deep, rich blacks. So your footage is going to look a lot darker on an OLED TV and on these new digital projectors. So just something to think about. Now, I did do a cut of the new China White, and I checked it on the OLED TV, and it was super dark. So usually I'll actually have, as all of you know, I have the Blackmagic Extreme 3 going. And now with that, Mel, did you get the music going? Yep, okay. Now with the Extreme 3, I've got my video signal going to the LG OLED client monitor. It's a 55-inch, I believe, on my wall in front of me, where that video signal is going to allowing me to actually monitor while I grade. However, a lot of the grading was done in our live streams, so I wasn't doing that. And so I was doing all of the work, and then I wanted to obviously check it on the OLED screen once it was done, and it was super dark. So we're gonna go through a lot of that and fix that today. And also, one of the things that I noticed is in the office scenes, it was my old node tree. So for those of you who have downloaded my node tree in the Night Studios forums, by the way, this is a reminder to sign up for the insider forums on our website at nightstudios.com or .co. But the latest version 2.2 that you're seeing here in front of me, this is the newest node tree. And then I went in here and I noticed it was the old node tree. So I'm going to fix that today with all of you. Now, one of the things that I also want to impart my advice on is any sort of like aerial shot or some sort of scene setting shot where you are setting a scene or establishing a scene. You want to avoid using vignettes. It doesn't look natural. My advice is avoid vignettes on any kind of establishing shots like this. So before, when I had turned on vignetting, especially with the OLED TV darkening it, it just didn't look natural. And one of the things that you'll hear me say over and over and over again with all of you is the importance of making sure that your work looks natural. We are creating worlds, we're building worlds, and you want it to look as realistic and as natural as possible and not synthetic. And anytime where you've got like a super deep vignetting, like here we go to our exposure and kind of do like what we had before, yes, we're drawing attention to that border patrol truck, but again, this darkening on the edges just, especially when checking it on the OLED TV, didn't look natural. It just looked very synthetic, very obvious, right? You don't want your work to be overt. You don't want to show signs of you being there as a colorist. So yeah, I would definitely recommend not setting vignettes on your establishing shots like this. It's just it doesn't look natural. I didn't like the way it looked. You can go in here and you can see I've got a spotlight here, but I'm not really spotlighting any part of this image. With an establishing shot, there really is no point to draw specific attention to anything, because again, you're establishing the scene. When all of you, I don't know if any of you remember the establishing shot for when we go to the Hoover building, or like, for example, this, it's there's no reason to highlight any part of that image because it's an establishing shot, right? You're establishing the scene. So there's really no point to draw the audience's attention to the statue of Benjamin Franklin, right? I think that's Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. So, there's just no point to it. So don't do it. It just adds, it looks very synthetic. And that's just my 2 cents. Some of you may disagree with me, which is cool, just fine. Love the 360 degrees of this class, but that's my input to you. Regarding skies, one of the things that if you look in a lot of feature films, if you look in a lot of shows, they do actually do a darkening on skies. It'll either be done in post-production or it will be done with a filter, an ND filter. So if you weren't shooting with an ND filter, that might, create that sort of vignetting on the sky. You can always do that in post, and that's what I've done here. So if you go, you can see I have a top node, and you can see the difference between that. It just brings the blues in the sky out a lot more. It just darkens up that sky without, hitting too much of our main image where our talent is. So that's another advice I have for you, is if you have sky like this, is come in here and darken it with a nice top-down power window. Okay, so I just have that as a power window. Hey, Willie, how you doing? Hopefully you like this new time. All right. Let's see. So I actually took down notes. Ooh, wow. Did all of you see that? DaVinci Resolve just crashed. Wow. All right. That's okay. We'll just reload it. Oh, DaVinci. Color light. Color life. Color light.
Willie says, I'm doing good. Thank you. Happy to be here to learn more.
Cool, cool. Sorry about that, everyone. DaVinci Resolve has its stability issues. It does crash, as all of you know. All right, so let's go back to our color page. All right, so now the next note that I have is the lighting on the mom's face in the office. So again, I discovered that it was my old node tree. So let's go address that. Here we go. Oh, no, that's the dinner. All right. So first thing we're going to want to do, again, for all of you, anyone who's new here to the channel, welcome. We start in the top left-hand corner. We do have our pre-group, okay, where first we do our noise reduction, any luminance and balance. And then if you need to do any individual luminance adjustments at the clip level, we start on the top left-hand side of the tree. So this reminds us everything we need to do for our image. Okay? So I don't, one thing that if you're wondering, okay, Alyssa, what are we exposing for? You're exposing not for this window out here, you're exposing for the talent's face, okay? Because we're going to use a power window to shape light, and we want to make sure that that is a nice level of exposure. Those of you new to the channel, I do use Nobe Omniscope. And one thing I want to let all of you know about is that I believe Time in Pixels has started a Black Friday special. So if you go to Time in Pixels, I do have a discount code, but it's not as much as what they're offering for Black Friday. Okay, so it is not, they've not started it yet. So you can, if you want to buy it immediately, I have a 15% off discount code for Nightlight. So if you type in Nightlight at checkout, you can buy Nobe Omniscope, get 15% off if you're impatient and you want to buy it now. If you want to wait for Black Friday, they are doing 30% off for Black Friday. All right, so you will see me using Nobe Omniscope a lot in this class. All right, so okay. So yes, you want to expose for the talent's face. And one of the things that I do like to use is false color. This is my, I would say the top two scopes I love using is false color and vector scope, split into lows, mediums, and highs. And on the false color, the preset that I use is the Flanders Scientific. And you want to typically be around here in the between 50 to 60 IRE. Depending on your lighting conditions, of course. Usually, my exposure, especially on skin, is between 40 to 50. I guess it can, depending on the lighting, it can be anywhere between 40 to 60, 65 IRE. So, all right. So I think that's a good exposure there on her skin. We're pretty well color balanced also. So basically what I did was I can, again, what I love about Nobe is you can highlight an area of an image and make sure that it's where you want it on the scope. So here in our mids where skin tones live, it's right along that skin tone line. And here for color balancing, this right here, I forgot what these door jams, I forgot what they call these, door frames. So here I usually like to use door frames or, typically things you would see as sort of bright white or white. I like to use that for my color balancing. If I don't have teeth, I will color balance for teeth as well. But here, I like to use the area that is sort of more in the face of the audience, that's taking up a big portion of the shot. I like to use that for color for my white balancing. So here clearly it would be our door frame. And I've gone in here into Omniscope and you can see that it's perfectly center right there in our highs, perfectly center. Depending on kind of what you're wanting to do, that's a great balance right there. All right, so we don't really need to adjust the luminance. I feel like we've got that pretty down. Let me fix that. Okay, so we were doing the balance there. I'm gonna change the balance to balance in my pre-node. I think I was just on the wrong group there. Always be conscious of what node you're on when you are in the color panel. So I'm using my offset wheel here. I really need to find an app that will highlight my mouse and keystrokes when I'm live streaming. And of course, your offset being your printer keys, printer hotkeys, printer lights. All right, that looks pretty good. I feel like that's pretty good. Looks pretty darn white to me, everybody. I don't know about you. I'm liking it. All right, so we're in our pre-group now. I'm going to switch to the clip group. So the luma and the balance we can kind of leave alone, obviously, since we use this shot for adjusting the white balance and the luminance in the pre-group. And that, of course, is going to affect every clip in the group. Now we're going to go ahead and put in some contrast. And I like to use my contrast wheel in my HDR wheels, which are, of course, color space aware. Don't want to ever overdo it on the contrast. Usually I go about 0.05, 0.06. Again, grab your hero frame. HSV saturation. This is pretty interesting. I learned this in I took Darren Mostyn's course recently, and by setting your color space to HSV and then selecting only the channel 2, you can do an HSV saturation adjustment in your shot, and it looks great. It looks really good. So if for any reason you want to bring up your saturation, you would just use your slider on your offset and bring that saturation up if it's just a little too desaturated. So again, don't be heavy-handed as a colorist. A little goes a long way. And you can kind of monitor those scopes as here, let me This stops covering it. Can I set this to always on top? Let me see. That would be nice, right? If we can say always on top. Oh, stay on top. Sweet. Okay. So now we can keep no omniscope on top. I've never thought about doing that before. All right. So now, oh, let me get rid of this. Sorry, everybody. So now you can watch that as we go through. Oh. And that's what we don't want to do. But okay, so now as I turn this wheel, you'll see my saturation. Do you see these cloudy areas right here in these scopes? These signals are going to get bigger and bigger as I move towards these letters right here for each color. So yellow, red, magenta, blue, cyan, green. Now, these are marked because these are the legal limits of broadcast. So if you go past these letters, these boxes right here, you're outside the legal limits of broadcast. So, you know, as we bring in more saturation, you can see it's getting further and further out. And of course, we don't want to do anything like this. So, but again, if you want to, you know, little goes a long way. If you want to bring in some more saturation, if it's looking a little desaturated, you can use your HSV sat to do that. And I don't believe this version of my node tree has been uploaded to the forums yet, on the insider forums, so I will get that uploaded. But I felt this shot needed a little bit more saturation. So if we disable it, you can see it's not much, but we're definitely bringing in some blues behind her, and we're bringing in some more life to her skin. I'm liking those skin tones. So HSV sat is a great way to accomplish that. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Let me fix that. All right. Put that down there. Okay, so I'm feeling good about this. Now we can either move to temp or tint. We can set any qualifiers and change anything at the qualifier level. We can use our depth map. I like to use depth maps. For this, I think I probably, you know, I don't feel like we really need to do much with this image, except I want to bring in some, use our DCTL here and bring in some, actually some density. And actually, I apologize, my camera's in the way. Not saturation, but density. And I want to bring in some density to the red. Make that a little bit more dense. And if we wanted to, we can also bring in some saturation as well. Now, one of the things that I noticed with these DCTLs is that if you enable them on multiple parallel nodes, that creates these white and black blocks. Let me see if it does it. I noticed it did that if I had two sats on, two DCTL saturations on. So let's try that and bring up the saturation on the red. Again, I'm not trying to go too crazy with it. And here we can also bring back the HSV sat if we want to, if we're just getting a little too much. Now, technically, because we're using saturation, we can undo our HSV sat and rely on our DCTL to do the saturation and the density. I want to bring some density in on that painting, the blue in the painting. And I can also bring in some saturation using the DCTL. All right. I don't know about all of you, but I feel this is looking really good. Really good here. Got some density coming in on this red, so it's not so, you know, neat, so pastel-y. Nice deep red there. I like that. So now what we want to do is definitely deal with this window over here. Now, we can use a vignette. That's fine. The other thing that I would be very, very careful of is if your camera is moving. If you do any kind of spotlighting or vignetting when the camera is moving, what's going to happen, everyone? That vignette and that power window, that spotlight is going to follow the camera, and it's going to look like someone is on set with a spotlight, like actually moving a spotlight. And no narrative film set would be doing something like that. So be really careful if you're going to do anything with power windows. But since the camera is not moving here, we can either apply a left hand, we can darken the left hand side of it with a power window. So if we want, we can look at that window, kind of see where it's at, reposition it. And then come in here and start to darken that exposure. You see that? It went from totally blown out to actually recovering that information. I really like that. It also makes it a little bit more moody in her office. Now, again, I don't want to go too crazy, but we can certainly, because remember, especially we're going to be checking this on an OLED. So imagine on those deeper black cinema, God, what's wrong? I haven't had enough coffee yet. Projectors, cinema projectors, or your OLED, it's going to be a lot darker. Also, a lot more people are watching YouTube on the YouTube app on their TVs. A lot of people are watching YouTube these days on their TV sets. So, just be conscious of that. Remember, you're trying to grade for every potentiality, every possible platform where someone might be watching it. Okay, so I like this image. It looks very good to me. We're not going too crazy. Go full view and look at that. Looks good. Okay. Now remember, if you've already spent a lot of time on one camera angle and you've got the same shot, you can just right click, apply grade, and grab that grade. Okay? Work smart, not hard. Okay, this is a new angle, so we want to start over from here. Let's go to our gallery, go to Night Studios, and apply that tree. Right click, apply grade. Okay. So again, we're gonna, because we exposed for a different angle where, we've got definitely a lot of light coming in from here, and there's a window over here to the left. You want to make sure, since we've got a different angle, that your exposure is where you want it to be.
Hey, Anderson, welcome.
Hey, Anderson, good to see you. Hopefully you like these new morning live stream times. So I like the exposure here. We're kind of in that 30, maybe 25 IRE on her. That's okay because she actually comes out of the shadows. So here she's coming into the light. So grab that hero shot. And now you can see we're up near more like 50, 55 IRE, which is a good IRE to be at for this particular shot. Remember, IRE isn't one size fits all. It's not, going to be stagnant. You'll see people on forums talking about 70 IRE. it just depends on what kind of set you're on, what the lighting conditions are like. It's always going to be different. Every shot is different. But I like this. I like this Luma. I like where we're at right here on exposure. Let's move on to balance. Again, we've got a lot of white here. We have white in our teeth. We've got white on the door jamb. I like to use the white that it takes up the most space in our scene, in our frame. So I'm going to balance for this door jamb right here. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to highlight that. And we're just going to make sure that we're where we want to be. It's a little leaning to the blue magenta side. So let's kind of get rid of that. Go to our offset, our printer lights. I'm going to move that over. Get rid of some of that blue and magenta. Feeling good about that. That looks pretty good. I don't know what you guys think. Guys and girls. Looks good, right? I feel that looks pretty white.
Anderson said the time is great, so it's good that we're going so early in the morning on the Pacific time.
Awesome. Thanks, Anderson. All right, I like that. I feel like that's very well balanced. Nothing looks off. Go to our contrast. See if we need to bring any contrast in. Oh, wrong window. Want to be in the HDR wheels, contrast. I don't want to lose too much information in her hair. As you can see, her hair is pretty dark, so I don't want to introduce too much contrast. So I think maybe 0.024 is going to be a good for this shot. Because remember, the more you compress those blacks and whites, the more information you're going to lose. So you want to always be really careful with contrast. HSV sat, you know, again, I tend to use more DCTLs these days. So we can go here and do some saturation, bring in some saturation on our mom's dress, and maybe some blues. Got a little blue in her dress. And then if we want, we can go ahead and bring in some of that density. Make that a little bit of a deeper red. Now, one of the things that I created a short on, need to upload, is for those of you who are trying to shot match, one of the things that you can also do instead of selecting these, for example, these 3 shots or these 2 shots, going up here, saying split screen and clicking on selected clips, what you can do is you can actually go here, if I'm grading here, and go to split screen and do neighbor clips. I love this because what it does is it shows you all of the neighboring clips for each one of these, so you can get a better idea of where you're coming in on your shot matching. So, and you also don't have to go through this whole, you know, and you can grade like this, right? So, you know, I can click here, and the white outline is indicative of which clip I'm going to be making the modifications on. So clearly this is off, right? You could see, did you see that? You see how these 2 clips are totally not matched? You know, this is also a great way to color grade if you're trying to shot match a scene between 2 cameras right now, or 2 angles or 2 cameras, whatever. This is a great way to do that because clearly we are not matched up here. So here we had copied the grade over. So that's a good match right there. That is not a good match. So I'm going to click on this. And if you watch closely, once I grab that apply grade, watch what happens. Look at that. Look how easy that is. Look how much time you just saved. All right. I'm not like sitting here, fuddling around with selecting clips. I could just see all of these clips together and how well I'm doing in shot matching all of this stuff. So again, same angle. Oh, all right. So that camera moved. Now, what's probably happening is there's camera movement here. I think the camera follows her, and it does. It follows her as she sits down. So what did I see? What I told you about, everybody, about being really careful not to use vignetting or spotlighting when the camera's moving. Make sure when you're grading a clip that the camera isn't moving. If you're doing any vignetting or spotlighting. So here we have a left going on, and because that camera is moving, we want to get rid of that. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to just do a reset on that, and that goes away. Okay. Now, if you want more viewable space, of course, you can just turn that off, and we're back to our regular mode for color grading. So let's check our scopes, make sure we're happy with because we do technically have a new angle here because of that, all this ambient light coming in from this window, this door. We potentially have to deal with some changes in our luminance and our balance. But, I'm looking at it right now. I'm feeling pretty good about this balance. Let's check our door jamb. That looks pretty darn balanced. Same here. I don't like the fact that window is so blown out. However, there really isn't much we're going to be able to do about it in the fact that this camera is moving. So what we can do, let's do this. Let's see what will happen if we add a left. If we try and add a left-hand side and just move that over. So let's move this power window over. Now it's obviously going to follow the camera. So anything before the window is going to be kind of darkened out. But let's see if this gives us a pretty good image though, and isn't too dark. So here is the beginning of the frame, right? All right, so this power window is going to move with it. Come in here. We can just start darkening. Again, we don't want to go too crazy. We want to definitely expose for her. Now that does help a lot. But let's see if we're happy with that. What it's going to look like as that is moving, because you can see it's going to be quite noticeable. But I don't think it's too bad. I'm not displeased with it. She is kind of dark, but still good level of Luma there. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I kind of want to leave this.
Hi Joy, hi Nash, welcome.
Yeah, I feel good about this, everyone. Now, what we definitely one thing this is definitely a lot better than doing a spotlight. Like if we were spotlighting her and this camera was moving, we're gonna start looking more artificial. Again, we want to make this look as natural as possible. So I feel good about this though. I'm feeling it. So let's readjust our workspace here and give ourselves more room in our nodes.
We have someone joining at 3:30 in the morning.
What? Thank you so much. What part of the world are you in? All right. Who's that, Mel?
Nash Hall Films.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Nash. That's a new name. You new around here? Welcome anyone who's joining us for the first
Someone
time.
from Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus. Mel is Greek. We are a Greek family over
I
here.
am Greek as well. Yeah, originally from New York, but Greek descent for sure.
So I kind of want to bring up the Luma here.
Nash is from Australia.
Oh,
Welcome, Nash. Thanks for joining so early.
Lou is Australian. All right. Cool. Yeah, I like this, everybody. I don't know what you think, but I feel like this is, especially with this camera movement, probably as good as we're going to get. Our balance is good. We've determined that. We did bring in some contrast.
Joy of Filming's German, just living in Cyprus. Hello, Joni Colton from Kentucky. Welcome.
Too much. Again, try not to be too heavy-handed with contrast. What we got going on over here? All right. Again, I'm going to rely on my DCTLs here. We've got the same, we've got density and we've got saturation brought in. Same as the other clips. So yeah, these clips are, now if we go back to the neighbor view, we can see that these are pretty damn well shot matched. This looks good. Good job, everybody. All right. Moving on. Switching to the new node tree. All right. Now we have her in front of the window. So this is definitely a new angle. We've got, you know, some ambient light to deal with. So let's apply that grade. Let's grab the new node tree. Remember, we're exposing for the talent's face always. So, you know, let's rely on our false color if we're unsure of ourselves. Probably bring in a little bit more Luma. I don't want to go too crazy. Now, one of the other things that I would urge all of you to do is especially with Windows, is you can always bring down your highlights. And we can recover that information. Again, this was shot with the Red V Raptor with 17 stops of dynamic range. So we can always recover that information in post.
Hello from Poland.
What? Poland in the house. Love our international community here. All right, so I'm feeling this exposure. We're kind of in the like 40 range. $40 IRE. Feeling good about that. Let's check out our balance. Again, everyone, for Black Friday, Nobe Omniscope will be 30% off over at Time and Pixels. You don't need my discount code, but after Black Friday, you can use it. And the discount code is Nightlight. All right. It feels like, so our balance is a little off. You can see that there's definitely some blues in there, some blue and magenta in there. So this is confirmed with our vector scope and the highs. So we can go in here and very simply with our printer lights or our offset, we can just bring that out. We can subtract that blue and magenta. Not a lot. Not a lot. but we can pull that out. What I'm doing is I'm aligning that dot, that cloud you see there, that signal. I'm just trying to perfectly align it in those crosshairs. Now it looks pretty good. All right. Now with our contrast, we're going to bring in some contrast here. Again, she has pretty dark hair, so I don't want to bring in too much contrast. I don't want to crush those blacks and lose that information, but I do want to bring in some contrast here. Now, again, we want to check to see if this camera is moving, and it is. So what am I always telling you? Be really careful with that spotlight when the camera's moving, all right? But I think we can get away with doing some power windows on the side again. Let's try that. Let's try and get rid of some more of that luminance from that window. Bring this over. The art and science is in how you position your power windows, everyone. All right, let's see as I'm bringing down the exposure here under global window, under the global wheel. I'm just kind of bringing back those brights. So it's not so bright. Now we got to be careful here because this camera's moving. So make sure that now it's not moving that much. It's not moving that much. It's moving a little, but not too bad. So, you know, I'm feeling good about this power window. I don't know what all of you think, but it definitely helps, right? It gets rid of all that just light blast everywhere. I like it. I like it a lot.
Joy Filming just asked, I'm surprised how much work you need to put in grading TV show. As an amateur, I was assuming there would be more attention to lighting, color, casts, WB, etc. during acquisition. Was I wrong?
So no, you know, I feel like there's really no wrong answer to any of this, again, because it's art, right? So you and I can be color grading together right next to each other, the same scene, and come out with two completely different looks and and grades. And so I don't ever like to say that anyone is ever wrong, you know, unless there's some sort of something technically broken with the image. But you know, it's all art. So I wouldn't say that you're wrong. One other thing, and I was just having this conversation with Lewis and Mel the other day, where we were talking about how TV is really changing. If any of you, I know a lot of you are in other countries, but if any of you have seen that TV series Wednesday on Netflix, so Wednesday, if you look at The Last of Us, those are technically all TV series, right? On streaming platforms. But if you notice, TV series are becoming increasingly more cinematic, right? Give me a thumbs up if you agree and say something in the comments. But we were having this conversation the other day with Lewis Mandalore, and I think that that's really the direction that it's going. The old days of, you know, of linear television and how these TV shows were just a standard, you know, standard grade, standard color correction, no real look development or anything like that. I think those days are disappearing. I think they're going to go the way of the dodo. Everything is moving to more and more cinematic looks, especially on the TV side. So, like I said, you know, look at Wednesday, look at The Last of Us, look at a lot of these really popular new TV series. There's a lot of look development there. There's a lot of sort of more cinematic or filmic look and feel to it. And I really feel like you're going to start seeing TV series where, you know, just as much time and effort is going into post-production on the color grading as a feature. So, good question. So I feel like this is good. You know, I like this shot. Again, I don't really want to spotlight her because of this movement here. Now, for those of you who are like, well, Alyssa, you can do tracking. Well, yeah, you can, but I try and avoid tracks and rotoscoping as much as I can. It's just, you know, I AI has gotten pretty far. I hate to make those finite surgical adjustments when it comes to lighting. It's I avoid it at all costs if I can. Um, but hey, let's give it a shot, right? We try everything on this channel. Let's give it a shot. So I can go here. I can go to the spotlight window, and again, because we exposed for her face, we can go in here, and I always try and make it as soft as you can. Always bring that feathering out. And then what I can do, because she's not moving that much, we can probably get a pretty darn good track, and you can always fix that track, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But you know, we can kind of highlight her face, and then we can just start bringing that down. That's all you do. Bring that down.
Joy Filming says, thanks for the answer. So more work to be done for you in the colorist industry.
Yep, for sure.
Welcome, Seawalker from Germany.
So we can also bring up our Luma again. We're starting to darken it a little bit more, but we're doing a dance between the spotlight darkening and the luminance, bringing up the Luma on the overall image. Because remember, because of that spotlight, as we bring up the Luma, it's actually adjusting the brightness on her face, not the entire image, because of that spotlight. So it's a dance where I'm lowering the exposure on the power window to darken the outside area, and then using the Luma and bringing that up in order to add some exposure to her face. Now, what I can do here is go to the spotlight, and then I can go ahead and track this. And we could do a track. Now we can go clip or frame. You do that on clip, and then just hit that forward and back. And we're getting a... Now again, she's not moving that much, so we should get a pretty darn good track. So here, you know, we've got a good track. It's not bad. But when there's a lot of movement, again, I try and avoid these surgical kind of things when playing with light. When I'm shaping light, I try not to be surgical. I like doing sort of like my shotgun approach to shaping light versus a more finite sniper approach, if you will. Just because of how synthetic you could end up making it look. But I like this track. We've got a good track. I don't know about all of you. Let me know what you think. Looks pretty good, right? All right. So now, if any of you, again, we can go here into our DCTL, and, you know, we can bring up the sat on her blue. Kind of bring a little bit more saturation to her blue. We can also bring in some saturation in the green in that tree. Give a little bit more life to that tree over there in the corner. And if we disable, you know, it's not that big of a difference, but you can see here, we're bringing in some sat. All right, I like that shot. It's a pretty good shot. All right, so again, we have a new angle here. We don't have any previous angles, so our cameraman is right behind her shoulder. I think that was Julio, right, Mel? Like right over her shoulder. All right.
Welcome Outdoors in Ontario, and Anderson has a question.
Ontario in the house.
Anderson says, I've noticed I'm watching shows that are at least an hour long, and the series are 3 or 6 hour shows. So shows like Foundation on Apple TV are each in many movies in their own right.
Yep, for sure. There's just this transformation happening in television. It's amazing. I love it. I embrace it. I love seeing more cinematic TV series. What was that one we were watching, Mel, where it was like super cinematic? It was Invasion, right? Invasion on Apple TV
Invasion.
Plus.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, mark my words, everybody. If you disagree with me, mark my words. I'm telling you, it's coming, and it's happening right now. The old days of that boring sort of just color corrected look and that's it on TV shows are going away. All right. Okay, so we have a new angle here. So let's take a look at our exposure. You can see in my false color over here, we're kind of in the 40 IRE range, which is okay. I still kind of want to bring in a little bit more. You can see we're starting to hit 60 right here because of those highlights, which is okay. It's okay to be in the 60s on IRE. Again, depends on your lighting. For balance, we're going to look for something white here to use. Those candles are probably not bright white. Maybe something here on her desk, like right there. Probably use that.
Incoming comments from on Outdoors in Ontario. Seems I start grading halfway through your show, and now I always check to see if you're grading too. Shows are actually starting to look better, and are the pastel shows away at least. Joy of Filming says, I love those deeply colorized films, movies, and series.
Awesome. Great job, Ontario. That's great to hear. Awesome feedback. Just love that I'm adding value for all of you. Yeah, definitely color along with me. Let's Bob Ross this show out. Paint along with me. All right. So, again, we want to I'm balancing for that, I guess, that piece of white paper right there. I'm having trouble seeing that dot. Don't have enough there. Oh, you know what I can do? How about we just white balance for the wall? Yeah. I think, well, yeah. Oh, look at that. All right, everyone, let's turn on that neighborhood. Turn on that neighborhood. Neighbor clips. Let's see how we did. When in doubt, check your other clips. Oh, we actually did have another angle. Oh my God. Blonde moment. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. Oh, well, I was right on. I was spot on. All right. So, okay. So, gosh, that looks great, doesn't it, everyone? Look at it. Look at what the DCTLs did to that. So, oh, oh, you know what? Oh, this is the old node tree. Ah, all right. Hold on. I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. Hold on. Apply grade. And
Incoming from Outdoors in Ontario. Off topic here, but what's your relationship with each other like? How's life? I'm really hoping that things are going fantastic.
Oh, how sweet. Mel, I'll let you handle that while I color grade. You can answer that one. What's it like being married to Alyssa Knight?
That's funny. It's going great. We collaborate a lot, obviously, personally and business and all the above. We met in the industry, so that was also a lot of fun. And now we're both tapping into our creative side, and we're loving the production, the editing, the post house, part of the business. So we're happy to share with the community and hope to grow the community too. So.
There's definitely some arguments. We get into arguments. We're both very strong-willed people, and we both are very opinionated, and have our certain way of doing things. And I think, Mel, what would you say? You and I we do a really good job at separating when we're on set together, and you're DP and I'm directing. We do a pretty good job at kind of leaving our marriage and family outside of the set, right? I feel like we do a good job at separating the two. That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say so. I think, definitely our roles are technical on set. So I'm a DP, you're a director. So everyone knows you're the showrunner of the show and movie we were producing and film. So but it's also, it's a collaboration. So, behind the scenes during pre-production, we're both executive producers. Now I'm in the new series. I'm going to be joining the writing room, which is exciting for me. That's something new that I'm going to be doing with Alyssa. And then hopefully, through these new training sessions we're going to be doing, and our new training course we're releasing in 2024, we could also, kind of hone our craft and put out some really great content for everyone who's wanting to learn everything from pre-production to distribution. So I think for me, it's a lot of fun. And of course, we do take time to also enjoy family and to go out and hike. We live in Vegas, so it's a lot of mountains out here. So we try to get outside as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we try and keep it fun as much as we can. It's going to be interesting when you join me in the writing room now in the new series. For those of you who haven't heard the good news yet, we have been signed for a new TV series. We're going to be calling it Shadow Unit, so we're super excited about that. So yeah, super excited. It's going to be cool. All right.
I think the last thing I would add is that culturally, Alyssa and I are very different in general because she's from the West Coast and I'm from the East Coast. So I was born and raised in New York. So
Culture shock.
as you can imagine,
Mel is
just
way
our
Mel is way more
personalities.
Mel is way more G than I am. Way more street. I was born and raised in Seattle, but I'm a citizen of the world. Like I've lived in Stuttgart, Germany, lived in Tijuana, Mexico, lived sort of all over the place. But yeah.
We're getting more incoming comments. Outdoors on Ontario says, I love it. Honestly, love to see it. Definitely adorable couple.
Aw.
Congrats. Addison says, since Mel is reading all the messages, I'm chuckling thinking of the silliest message she would read. It's actually great and makes listening a great time.
Aw. Great feedback, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it really helps having Mel produce because I don't have to switch back and forth and deal with that mirror effect. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of just darkening on the left-hand side over here. Again, I don't want to go too crazy. I like this. This looks good. It's looking good, everyone. I'm feeling it. All right, so now we can go here. We can grab this grade. And we can grab this grade. Oop, wrong angle. Sorry, everyone. Yep, be careful where you grab your grade from. Make sure it is actually that correct angle. God, look at how much of a difference those DCTLs make. Do you all remember that episode when we were like, let's try the qualifiers. We'll do it with the qualifiers. Oh, wait, let's do it with depth map. Oh, wait. Let's try DCTLs. Oh my God. It was what? The best money ever spent. Thank you. I know, I know, oh God, what's his name? Stefan. Oh my God. Not enough coffee this morning. I know Stefan is actually a member of the community now and watches these. So thank you, Stefan. You've made a great tool. Remember, everyone, wherever we can save time.
Incoming question from Joy Filming. Do you ever apply white balancing by using a mask? Examples would be to balance the walls only while leaving the rest of the frame as is.
You know, actually, that's a good question. Who asked that, Mel?
Joy of Filming.
Oh, Joy. Yeah, so I used to do that until No Omniscope came in and just totally changed my life. So for me, going in and masking is more clicks and more time. So what I use now, I don't know if you bought No Omniscope, but now I just use Nobe and I'll zero in. It's pretty much the same thing as creating a mask, right? So I'm just like sampling a particular area, holding down my shift key, and I'm just I'm just grabbing an area and I'm bouncing that way. So it's kind of the same concept. So I feel like the answer to your question is yes. But instead of doing the power window here, I'm doing a window over here in Nobe.
Outdoors in Ontario asks, so how do you start with storyboards and going through that process?
Oh, storyboarding. So I am a self-confessed non-artist. So I do storyboard, but I don't use storyboard. I don't draw storyboards like you might think. Some of you may have seen my previous videos on this, but I use Shot Deck. So I'll come in here and I'll browse shots. And let's say, for example, we're going to be shooting in an office. So I would go, interior, time of day would be like day. Let's say it was during the day. And then I'll come up here and I'll add a search term and I'll type in office. Okay. So here, we've got some office shots. Let's say, for example, our talent was going to be at the desk. I would use this. And then I would click on it. And then I would straight up just put this into a PowerPoint deck. And I would do this for every single scene. Every single scene, I'm going to grab a shot. Sometimes I'll even use, for those of you who are on a Mac, Command-Shift-4. And I'll actually grab this color stencil and grab that also, because I'll use it for Mel and I will use it for creative on set for lighting and stuff like that. So I'll just color, especially color grading. So or Mel I don't know, Mel, what do you think? Like, do you like it when I include all the details down here? When I include the the lens size that was used, the shot type, the frame size, the format. Like this tells you it was shot with the 35 millimeter. This was shot with a 35 millimeter
I
lens.
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I can go into the set, whatever we're trying to, make sure we're doing a lot of art design, and we can pick that right frame, that right lens. Also, we can paint.
She knows that she
Yeah.
can come in here, see that this was shot with a 35 mil, that it was a medium to wide shot. And I can see here from, sort of like a mood perspective that this is a much cooler shot, right? So she can use this. Our first AC can use this. Our DIT can use this to actually adjust the white balance on the cameras and go a little cooler. So good question.
Joy of Filming said I bought those DCTLs just a week ago, even before knowing this channel. These are awesome.
Yep.
So Nash has
Stefan did a great job.
Yeah, he did a good job. And to add to that, I have all the Stefan's DCTLs. They are an absolute time saver, especially his skin tone indicator.
Oh yeah, love that. Absolutely love it. Okay. So this is clearly a brand new shot. This is the Red V Raptor. And I mean it's a little blue. I don't know if any of you can see that, but it's definitely sort of leaning more towards blue cyan. So we'll go in here, and again, we want to be careful because this is our old node tree. So I can grab the new one, grab that. And now we're starting off with a blank canvas. So we're looking at probably about 50 IRE right here. 50, 55. I guess more 55 maybe. So that's pretty good. I mean, we could probably lighten it a little. Bring in a little bit more light. And then it's a little warm. But I don't know. It kind of works. I kind of like this. Now we can obviously sort of bring the, cool this off. So, it's definitely leaning more towards red and yellow. So if we want, we can come in here and cool this off.
Outdoors in Ontario said I just started using that new AI photo producing program. Type in parameters and copy and paste. They work so good. Using the parameters, creative storyboard style, direction of camera, etc. Just in case it helps out anyone out there.
Ooh, wait, what is that? What AI tool?
It's an AI photo producing program. If you can put in the chat what that is, that'd be
Oh
awesome.
wait, yeah. If you can, wait, are you talking about Midjourney? Are you creating a shot deck with Midjourney? That's actually not a bad idea either. Everyone is using generative AI to create a shot deck. You know, I just I love this. You know, before a lot of studios, especially independent, would have to go on maybe Fiverr or Upwork and hire a cartoonist, give them the script and hire cartoonists and have, you know, someone who's an artist, an actual artist, create their storyboard. But with generative AI, oh man.
Yeah, he confirmed it was Midjourney.
Yep, that's awesome. That's a great idea, everybody. Using generative AI to make your shot deck. That is not a bad idea, especially with you know, what it's able to do now. It's insane. If you go to images, like, what version is Midjourney on now? Version like 3 or 4 or something like that. Midjourney, photo realistic. So like this, I mean, come on. Come on. Yeah, version 5. Look at this. This is insane. You know, if you want to throw a star in there, you know, that clearly looks like Will Smith. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Yeah, if you don't want to pay for you know, honestly, that's a really good point. Um I don't know what generative AI is going to do to sites like ShotDeck, because ShotDeck has competitors. You know, there's competition out there for them. But like, to be able to specify you can actually specify lens types in Midjourney. I don't know, like there's some crazy ninja skills you can develop with your prompts for Midjourney, like crazy samurai prompts to get some really, like, you can specify lens, you can specify bokeh, you can it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, good point. Good job. All right. I'm feeling good about this image, everyone. I mean, we could probably add some power windows to darken maybe the right-hand side. We could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, maybe if we want to and draw a little bit more attention, especially this dead space over here. I don't want to go too crazy. Maybe darken that a little. Grab our grade here. And we have a totally different angle at this point. So, you know, let's grab our clip. Rely on our false color, see if it's properly exposed. Yeah. Okay, not to trust your eyes, especially if you've been grading for a while. Go in here on our balance. I'm gonna white balance. I'm gonna balance for the door jamb again. Man, making this always on top really changed things. That was a good idea. All right, so I'm going to bring in our balance, leaning a little to the blue side. I like that. That looks really good. You know, not much of a difference, but there's a difference. And we can darken out this dead space over here. That's okay too. Let's grab some. Now this camera is moving. I know this shot very well, so we need to be careful. Again, you want to be like, as a colorist, we want to be like Navy SEALs, you know? We're never seen. We should never be seen. That, you know, there should never be evidence of us being there. Man, great analogy, right? Great analogy. All right. I mean, that could be just like a shadow cast. That's defensible. Be careful of your talent walking into the shadow too.
Outdoors in Ontario suggested if you search online for AI storyboards, specifically Code Terrae, they have fantastic examples.
Oh, no way.
It's spelled KOH
Oh,
TERA.
yeah. Oh, shit. You know what? That's a really good point, everybody. You can actually get way more control over what you want by Midjourney, because of course Midjourney isn't going to create exactly what you want on the first try. I don't know about you, Ontario, but like I'll sit there and spend maybe 10 minutes trying to get a prompt right to get exactly what I want. But I think if you switch to Sketch, tell it to generate, actual hand-drawn sketch art, I think it has a lot more control over being able to give you exactly what you want. But yeah, I mean, shit, that's a good point. You could totally get generative AI to storyboard for you. Oh, is it Storia AI? Is that what it is?
He put KOHTERAI.
Oh, that's someone else. Is it this dude? Is it a blog?
Yeah, they have examples.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, this is a great article. Great link. Thank you, Ontario. That's a good idea. I mean, I mean, clearly you could tell it to do a sketch or you can tell it to create the actual shot. Um, I don't know. I mean, whatever works for you. I actually kind of like the idea of having it do it as a sketch, like what we saw in Google Images. That was kind of cool. Storyboarding, generative AI. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could totally rock out coming to set with something like this. And I'll be like, yeah, I drew this, everybody. And they'll be like, bullshit. But yeah, I mean, seriously, why spend so many hours actually trying to draw something with stick figures or
I think it's super helpful because for us on the camera team, it's important to have what your vision, because you can read a scene, but everyone has a different creative mindset of what that scene looks like. But I do
yeah.
believe that even Shot Deck, why I like Shot Deck so much is because it actually shows you an example of what the lighting looks like and the shadows. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
with
and they're from actual, feature films or TV shows. So, you take something like this, right? It's an actual shot on a set on a film. Good ideas are made, better ideas are stolen, right? So, it's a great source of inspiration for real on-set lighting. Now, that's not to say you can't recreate that with generative AI, but I don't know if all of you saw this, but you can actually there's an article here that was created on the top AI storyboard generators. So it looks like Canva's starting again that croc.io. This is a tool designed for animation video production that enables remote collaboration. It allows instant visual feedback by the same partner. Oh, that doesn't sound like storyboard that. This is an online tool that enables users to create their own storyboards. You have vast collection of graphic. Oh, but that's not AI. Storyboard Hero. Yep, there we go. you know what? Well, maybe I'll do a video on this, everybody. Like, how to like storyboarding our pilot episode for the new show using generative AI. Ooh, that would be great, wouldn't it? It's creating an actual storyboard for the actual screenplay. Oh, by the way, we're gonna start doing some more videos on pre-production. So especially since we're in pre-production right now for the new TV series, we're gonna start doing some pre-production videos on creating your budget. I know a lot of you would be interested in seeing that. So creating your budget, writing the script, creating your beat sheet. So we're gonna be covering all that, I promise.
I don't know if this is relevant to bring up, but I think for all those individuals who want to at least dabble with the camera, Alyssa and I have bought some really new equipment for iPhones. We have the iPhone Pro Max, the 15 that came out, and we're really excited about rigging it up and doing some short form content and also editing that as well. So that might be a good video in the future.
Yeah, everyone, so for our BTS camera, for our behind the scenes camera, we used to have everyone, we would rig up an A7S III, a Sony A7S III on a gimbal, and it would take all this time. We have to worry about chips. We've built this amazing rig, and we're gonna do an unboxing video when the new lenses arrive, because we bought the shift cam lenses as well as the small rig cage for the iPhone, and we're gonna unbox it. We'll do overheads, all that stuff. We'll do an unboxing of. We got the entire lens set, so all of the lenses, including the anamorphic lenses for the iPhone, as well as the small rig cage. And we'll do an unboxing and we'll build the kit. We'll build the rig out, but we're gonna be using this for our BTS camera now, and we're gonna be using it for doing site visits and stuff like that, location scouting. So yeah, we're gonna do a video on that. So that's coming too. So good. Thanks for reminding me, Mel. Right.
Outdoors and Antara said, by the way, you guys are awesome. You're doing so great today, and I love both those ideas.
Oh, thanks, Ontario. Okay, so that office scene is done, everyone. Let's see. So we've got the vignette opening scene. I fixed that. The lighting on Mom's face in the office. I fixed that. Halo below Juan's hair in office. Oh, I fixed that by... Yeah, there was a weird haloing thing when he walked into the room. That's been fixed. All right, so I can cross those off. Okay, so sky darkening and the shootout scene. Oh, this was Mel. When Mel, actually, I got to give credit to Mel. She noticed this. There was a difference in the darkening of the sky between these. Yeah, there was like a halo here, right, Mel?
Yeah, it was when the trunk opened up and there was like a white halo. The sky looked blown out.
Yeah, and I think you liked it. Yeah.
It was as soon as they they opened the trunk, you kind of saw it. It was like a white halo, and then the scene changed, and then it was the blue sky. So there was a consistency issue there.
So I'm gonna have to do something like this. I think it was more prominent on the LG TV. Yeah, this was way more prominent. So, and you actually said you liked it without it, right?
Yeah, I liked it without it. It just because you couldn't see their faces. Incoming from Jacob's Boring Life, can I ask how you started and how you learned? I'm a graphic designer and found myself interested in video editing and color correction, grading. Started DaVinci yesterday and already watched 2 of your videos.
Oh, awesome. Well, first of all, love your handle. Nice to meet you. It's good to have you part of the community. This is a 360-degree learning community. So, I not only want to be teaching all of you, but there have been several instances on several of these live streams where the community has taught me. So this is kind of the learning environment we're fostering here. How did I get into this? I'm a former hacker, so we sort of fell into Hollywood accidentally. We worked in cybersecurity for 23 years. If you watch my first vlog episode that I just published this last week, it kind of goes into my background and how I fell into color grading and gives you my whole story. So check out Nightlife. It's a new vlog series I'm starting, and episode 1 just got posted. But yeah, good to have you here. Definitely subscribe and watch the videos, like them. Appreciate having you here.
Anderson has a good question. I'm on the fence between small rig and beast grip, but waiting.
Ooh, Mel, I'll let you handle that question. Mel's very opinionated on beast grip.
But actually, let me finish the question. For the actual 15 Pro version rather than the universal rig, I'll wait for the unboxing to see if my mind can be changed. So I don't know, Anderson, if you watch Michael Tobin's channel. He does a lot on beast grip, a lot of unboxing, different types of lenses that he uses on the beast grip mount. Alyssa and I looked into Bscript, but what we wanted to do was, because these tools are so expensive, we didn't want to have to upgrade every time we upgraded our phone. So we went with the universal, because whether we have the 14 Pro Max or the 15 Pro or Pro Max, or let's say the Apple 16 comes out next year, we didn't want to have to spend or drop so much money, buku bucks on these tools. So that's why we lean towards small rig, because one, they're not as expensive, and they're really customizable, and you can add and they have a lot of quarter rounds, like 20s, that you can put on there. And we're building out. We're gonna definitely do a detailed unboxing on it when all the equipment comes in. So hopefully, I mean, Bscript is awesome. Don't tell, it's you're just paying a lot for something that you're gonna have on your phone for a couple years. So I think that was a decision factor for us, was that we didn't want to have to spend all this money and then upgrade when we upgraded our new phones.
Yeah, the small rig cage, when I did a lot of the research, I loved the small rig cage. It looked so nice to me, and I felt like there were a lot more quarter 20s, NATO rail kinds of. It just looked, I just thought I could do a lot more, because you want to mount the SSD drive, you want to mount your microphone receiver, you want to mount your battery. You have all of these areas with the small rig cage to be able to mount stuff. There's a lot of holes, like quarter 20s, stuff like that, to be able to screw stuff in and mount things.
Jacob's Boring Life came in with another question for sure. TYSM, laughing out loud. I always wanted to be a hacker too. I might just drop everything and learn hacking before video editing.
Good time to be in cybersecurity, that's for sure.
Outdoors in Ontario says, who are the people that you would suggest as color graders, Cullen Kelly, etc., for the beginners out there to check out?
There's some great channels out there for learning from more. I definitely always tell people, learn from as many people as you can, and extract your the best things that that resonate with you the most with each person. Colin Kelly is a great colorist. Darren Moston, Daria, she does a lot of I don't believe Daria has her own YouTube channel, but you can find videos that she's done on YouTube. She's actually a certified, I think she even works for Blackmagic. Wakazi Kazi is another one.
Yeah, I was going to say Kwazikazi has a nice one. Anderson came out with, yes, looking for anamorphic lenses too. Thank you for your answer. Just an add-on to that, Anderson. The reason, so if you look at Moment in other companies, Shift Lens was the one we selected for anamorphic. It comes with a kit, but you can buy them individually. The one thing that we were sold on was that it didn't have a lot of distortion, and it's the first mobile lens technology. They use fluorite crystals in their composition, so we felt like it was worth it to spend the extra bucks on the Shift Cam lenses, because the distortion is minimal, and the new crystals they're using make the picture clearer when you're comparing them side to side.
Yep. Wrong project.
When I showed Alyssa the Shift Cam lenses, she was floored. She couldn't believe it. You were really sold, because you had Moment lenses in the past, right, Alyssa?
Oh yeah, I've used Moment in the past, and I'm a believer in Shift Cam, man. You guys should, it's this crazy crystal that they make with the lenses. So if you guys check out Shift Cam, I was doing a comparison of the different external lenses for the iPhone. So there's Freewell, Shift Cam, Moment. There is zero distortion on these lenses. It's insane. We went with the Lens Ultra kit. We went with the full kit.
I think we bought the deluxe kit. We bought the deluxe kit.
Yeah. So you get 7 lenses, you get filters, you get a pro grip. It's insane. And it's edge to edge. There's no distortion on the sides. I would definitely recommend checking out Shift Cam lenses. Like if you look at the anamorphic, if you look at the anamorphic lenses on like Freewell, there's a lot of distortion. But look at this, like there is no distortion on your edges with this lens. It's insane. They go into, how they make the lenses. They talk about the crystalline or whatever the hell they use to make the glass. It's insane.
Yeah, it's the
Great
fluoride
lenses.
crystals. The fluoride.
Fluoride, thank you. Fluoride crystal. But yeah, like if you look at these lenses, there's just no distortion on these edges. And if you look at the Freewell anamorphic lenses, for example, you'll see a shit ton of distortion. And there's just no distortion with these. And they're doing a Black Friday sale. So you can get, 35% off on their, and it's running for the next 13 hours. We were just talking about that. I think Ontario and I were just talking about that in the last episode, like, trying to not be so impatient and waiting, right? On making sure that you wait for your big purchases for these Black Friday deals that are happening right now. Right now is a great time to do that. All right, so we finished the grading on China White. I'm moving back to the editing on episode 1, Wicked Panda. For those of you who saw the last show on this, we went into multicam editing. There is multiple ways to do multicam. Now, one of the things that I did doing before was I was going in here. Let me just grab everything. I was going in here and I was trying to highlight everything, right click, and then create a multicam clip. And you just can't do that when you have clips that are time code jammed and some that are not. It just creates a mess. It's unusable. So what I did was I created this manual approach of using arranging your different camera angles on the timeline and manually selecting between the different views of each cam. So a great point was, Rob, so at this time, when I made the episode, I was like, hey, what if I were to just take this and we were to just do one at a time, right? So if you organize by scene number, scene 1, take 1, scene 1, take 2, camera A, camera B, and then scene 1, take 1 on the sound. And then just highlight those 3 things, go to right click, and then just click create new multicam clip using selected clips. And it worked. It worked great. So now one of the things you do want to do that we did discover is for some reason it wasn't auto syncing the sound, external sound. So if we go to scene 1, take 2, A, scene 1, take 2, B, scene 1, take 2, right click, auto sync audio based on waveform, and then create your multicam clip. Again, because we don't have time code on half the clips, we can't use this. So if I do that, I'll get an error. Or I should have.
Outdoors in Ontario said, do you guys still have and use the A7S III? How do you like it? Yeah, we actually have 2 of them. We absolutely love it. It's one of those mirrorless cameras that you can interchange any lens, any E-mount lens you want. We love it for tons of use for vlogging, for
I
BTS.
think I already synced it, that's why.
And we're actually offloading one of them. We have 2, but we don't use the second one as much as we want to, so we're probably going to sell it. So if anyone's interested in possibly purchasing a Sony A7S III, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, we are going to start unloading a lot of our gear. So if any of you are interested, we do have a Gear Focus page, a Gear Focus site up. Mel, you want to put our Gear Focus URL into chat for everybody?
Sure thing.
So we're selling a lot of our gear, and a lot of it is barely used. So some of it is brand new in the box. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, so after you create your multicam clip, so I synced. Now I can right click here and say create new multicam clip using selected clips, angle ink you can do time code or because we don't have time code, just do it based on sound, and then sequential, or I go metadata camera, and then I uncheck this because I don't like it when it moves my clips. So now I have my multicam clip.
Everyone's saying we should do a giveaway.
Yeah. We're going to start doing giveaways on this channel.
I'll link the post in the chat shortly. I'm just looking for the link. Jacob's Boring Life said it's hard to understand and memorize different lenses, cams, and color spaces, etc.
Yeah. So definitely, for sure, we're going to start doing giveaways on this channel. That's for sure, especially as the sponsorship continues to start pouring in. We'll start giving away free stuff as well as some of our own gear. So I did a multicam clip on scene 1, take 2, but we did end up going with scene 1, take 4. Again, for those of you who are new to the channel, my decision that I make, usually, especially as director, I remember usually when I call a wrap on a scene, it's the best take was usually the last take. So here you can see in scene 1, we had 4 takes. So I ended up using the 4th take for the timeline. So for those of you who are wondering, okay, if I have multiple takes, which one should I use? I usually always go with the last take because that's usually when I yelled out a scene wrap. So now we can go to scene 2. Oh, we have is this a different angle? Yep, we have a different angle here with scene 1B. Yep, we moved cameras. So we have scene 1B. Oh, this is a great angle to fold in. All right, so we can take 1B, take 1. There were 2 takes on that. So A cam and B cam, and then a 1B on sound. Now, where's 1B on sound? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It looks like we have a 1B take 1, but we don't have a 1B take 2. Oh, no, it's right in front of me. Sorry. No, that's the camera. Oh, there it is. Is that it? Is that a duplicate? Oh, that's a duplicate. What's going on here? All right, camera A, scene 1B, take 2. Camera B, scene 1B, take 1, take 2. Yeah, and then the sound device. No, but that's only take 1. Damn. Why is it not there? Unless it's not properly labeled. Let's see if that sound file will work for it. I don't know why there isn't. Ooh, that's not good. I don't know why I didn't record. I don't see any other. Wow. Okay. So let's right click. Let's obviously, you guys and girls are going to see that I cannot auto sync on, because look at those start time codes. None of those are the same. So time code is not going to work, but I'll just show you anyway. Yep, that doesn't work. So if we right click and go auto sync audio based on waveform, you can try that. But that's probably not going to line up since that's not the right clip. See? Yeah. So we cannot create a multicam clip for that angle, which is a shame. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try S1B. Let's try searching for S1B. It's not working. Let's try organizing by clip name. S1B take 1. That's so weird. It's totally not there. Let's check the drive. Let's check my drive. Maybe I just, for some reason, didn't import it. Now we're looking for Dark Ops S1B. Oh, I renamed them within DaVinci. Well, within, yeah, within DaVinci. Let's do Reveal in Finder. So this is 37. Oh my God, there's a 38 missing. Do you see that? It goes 35, 36, 37, and then 39. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do 1B take 1 instead. So let's just do that. And I'll figure this out later. I don't know why that sound file's missing, but there's clearly a sound file missing there. No bueno. What was the timestamp on that? December 6th at 11 o'clock.
Couple of comments rolling in from Midwest Vision. I was using FCPX for a little while, then switched to DaVinci Resolve. And I will say it was challenging at first until I started watching YouTube. And now with this channel really makes me more creative.
Yay! Value. We're adding value to someone. That's good. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Joy of Filming says, just recently received a B script for my iPhone 13 Pro Max plus an anamorphic lens 1.33 with ProRes and sufficient light, an awesome combination. No need to carry my heavy Lumix S1H.
Yeah, the struggle's real with how much everything weighs, man. Got to definitely try and build as light of a payload as possible, especially when you're dealing with trying to balance stuff on gimbals and all that stuff. But yeah. All right. Let's organize by scene now. Man, that really sucks. I don't know what happened there, but we're just going to use take 1. Hope it was good. All right, so let's link based on waveform. And we're linked up. Do you see all of that? Get filled in. So now we're going to create a new multicam clip. I like to actually label it so we don't get lost. So scene 1B, take 1. And now we can go here, find S1BT1, and then now for those of you who are joining us for the first time and have never messed with multicam clips before, you simply just can easily switch between the multicam angles by hitting the 1 key, the number 2, the number 3, depending on how many cameras you have. To switch to multicam view, this took me forever to find the last video, but it's right here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, there. Multicam. And then now we have our different camera angles. We can see it. We got camera A, camera B. Now you can click here as well. So if I wanted to switch to camera B, if I just click here, watch what happens down here, everybody. Boom. Okay. So I like to use my numbers. So I'm just going to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to go here. All right, looks like we are clearly... Camera B isn't synced properly. Do all of you see that? So if we switch to camera B here, right? Okay, I see what's happening. So here it's at 1, right? It's timed properly. But if all of you look over here in camera B, it's not timed at the same time. So I don't know what caused that. But what we'll do is decide what we want to use and go from there. So now see, it's a different part of the scene. That's so strange. Let's look at what we created our multicam clip with. So we open in timeline. Yeah, so it's trying to line it up exactly on top of each other. I have a feeling it has to do with the waveforms because we aligned on waveform, and for some reason it's off. So if you look at, now we can manually do it, so we can go in here. All right, so you can see here that this is linked to this, right? This is the waveform for camera B. This is the waveform for camera A, and then we have our external audio. Now the external audio, oh boy. Okay, so what we want to do is let's sync these two together. So auto line clip based on waveform. And that's still off. So I don't know why it, like, you can clearly see those are off. So let's move it ourselves. It's not perfect, you know?
Bye, Joey Filming. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Bye, Joey. All right, so that's aligned now. So those two are aligned. And then what I typically do is I'll take the two cameras and I'll right click and I'll say link clips. So that way when they move together. And then I go in here and then I auto align clips based on waveform. And now, yeah, again, see, it's just not right. So we can go here and do it manually. But again, yeah, that's not aligned. All right, let's do this. Let's forget about our external sound and just first make sure that this is lined up. All right, so camera B is aligned with the sound devices. Now we need to get camera A lined up with it. Remember how I told all of you in the last video that the it doesn't have the best waveform because the mic is so low? So we wanna try the best we can to get this aligned properly. So I think this is an alignment right here. Let's try and manually do it. This looks right. If you have to zoom in.
I'm getting some comments from Outdoors Ontario. You can see it on the waveform right there. If you zoom into timeline, it's easier to see waveform and where it lines up.
Sorry, go where now, Ontario? Mel,
If you
repeat
zoom
that?
Yeah, you can see it on the waveform right there. If you zoom into timeline, it's easier to see waveform and where it lines up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so remember everyone, it does the best it can, but the auto align may not always work, and this is how you troubleshoot through it. Oh, be careful not to okay, so that's the external audio, so let's get that lined up. Still a little off. I'm wondering, oh, you know what? I'm wondering if that's the wrong cam. No, it looks right. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you know what? I got that out of sync. Sorry. Yeah, you got to be careful with this, everyone, when you unlink it. So make sure it's lined up. And then link clips. Don't get the video out of sync with the audio. All right, so now that should be good. There we go. All right, so that's lined up. Now let's look at A. Because I think that is totally out of sync. Yeah. So now let's take that and that.
Outdoors and Ontario saying the waveforms on different time signature. That's why it's snapping to the wrong spots. I've ran into that same issue a bunch with different cameras using MHZ ranges, and it throws it off.
Yeah, you saw I was having trouble snapping that perfectly in place. All right, we're good, everybody. So, that can happen. You just gotta deal with it. But now we should be good. There we go. Life is good. All right, here we go.
Outdoors in Ontario loves this, so interactive. Glad you like it,
Yeah.
Ontario.
And remember, you want to be creative with your cuts. You don't have to cut exactly when they're done talking. If you cut a little bit before, you can grab their dialogue even if the camera's not on their face. Just a little bit more creative. And I'm just bouncing between 1 and 2, everybody. You messed up that line.
Ellie, I'm just gonna step away and grab some coffee. Let me know if you want some.
Okay. I'm good on coffee. Yeah, thanks. Oops. Probably use that one. Actor messed up that one again too. Yeah, he was struggling with this. All right. Can all of you hear the sound? I can switch it to. All right, so we can go in here. I know that's probably bothering people, so let's go here on audio, click voice isolation. Get rid of some of that.
Anderson says, sorry about that. My biggest hate is when the dialogue doesn't match with the over-the-shoulder shot and the mouth doesn't sync. Very sloppy.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
My biggest hate is when the dialogue doesn't match with the over-the-shoulder shot and the mouth doesn't.
Yeah. I've dealt with that before too. It's just, I mean, syncing audio, and you gotta always make sure your audio syncs. That's the biggest thing that people will notice when they're watching your film or your show is if audio is not properly synced up. So yeah, I get it. Now, remember, everyone, we have the angles from the last take. What we're doing is this is clearly establishing. And so I can bounce, I can choose which angles I use in this conversation for the close-ups. So, if there's something over here that I don't like, you're probably wondering, okay, Alyssa, let's say you want to use this one, and then you've got this one. How do you switch to it? Well, just pick that up and I move it. Right? Now, clearly, I need to make sure that this is the right scene, but I'm just trying to give all of you an example. Clearly, you need to kill that DLG. So that's all I do. Right? So anyway, you see, I just pick it up and drag it when I for the clip that I want to use. Back where we left off. Hey, he's really struggling on this scene. This was a really rough take. All right, so clearly, that was a really rough take. We can mix it in with our establishing shots on this side. So this is the start of it. If we want, so we have her coming out of the closet, right? I'm sorry, well, it is a closet, but it was supposed to be her bedroom. So we don't have that shot in take 1B. So I would say like we should start here. So maybe we start at damn it. So, I could come here and I can just put a marker here, hit M and hit a marker. You see that marker right there? That way I know where to put it. And then maybe we drag it right here. Look at that. Falls perfectly in. Now, we can use that, or we can kind of keep it here. Now, if you want to, you can come in here on his clip and change it to camera A, right? You don't have to like do it over here.
Incoming from Nash Hall's films. Yeah, it's really loud over there. He says, "Welcome to my world, laughing out loud, shooting wedding ceremonies with 8 cameras and 4 external recorders without time code, and a line by waveform won't work, so I'm doing everything manually." He goes, "Now I use I've never heard of this before, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. Syncalia. It has made a huge time-saving difference," laughing out loud.
Yeah, I would definitely. So this is what we switched to, everyone. If you go to, I'm a huge fangirl of Deity. Huge fangirl of Deity. They just came out with these new lavalier mics, digital lavalier mics. Anyway, they have these amazing time code generators. So it's called the TC1. And you just hook this thing up. And I actually have a video that shows you how to configure them and configure your cameras and your sound recorder to use time code. But I swear by these things. Was that Ontario who asked that, Mel?
No, it was Nash Hall Films.
Oh, Nash, sorry. So Nash, I love Deity. I just love their gear. Great support, great gear. These are not expensive at all. So if you look at the TC1, okay, well, it depends on your budget, but $550 for a 3-pack. And then we did actually buy the TCSL one, and it's got the time code built into it. So unfortunately, slates are expensive. Slates are not cheap. But we love our Deity gear. What do you think, Mel? What's your opinion about the TC1?
Oh, I love it. Especially syncing the time code every time. The only thing you have to be cognizant of is anytime you have to change your battery if you're out and about, have your camera hooked up to, power. Every time the camera shuts down, you have to resync the time code to make sure everything's working properly. Otherwise, in post, at times Alyssa would get frustrated because she'd be like, "Oh, the camera went down and you guys didn't sync the time code." So we've learned from that, and hopefully it's been better in production.
So we can go here.
Outdoors in Ontario said, "Haha, love the Deity. Was just about to suggest the exact device. You beat me to it. I've only used it for one shoot, but it's great."
Yeah, this is unfortunately, since we're going back in time and starting editing and regrading from the very first episode, we didn't have time code at the time. So we were hiring production sound mixers, that were coming on our set without time code. was like crazy.
Nash said that $550 for a 3-pack is like $1,000 Australian dollars.
Oh, how much in Australian mil?
1,000 Australian dollars.
Jesus. Yeah, camera gear isn't cheap, that's for sure. I hate it when I accidentally put the marker on the clip. By the way, everyone, what saved me also a lot of time and a lot of headache, because I would think that I'm highlighting the correct clip and I wasn't, is make sure selection follows playhead. That was a huge time saver for me. I would sit there and adjust a clip on its zoom or position and not realize I'm on the wrong clip. So selection follows playhead will save you a lot of headache. All right, so now we can move this guy here. See how easy that is, everyone? We're just dragging and dropping from this other scene over here. So when you have a C cam or another scene that you shot from a different angle, maybe you moved your cameras to a different side of the room. Obviously you can't create a multicam clip with that. So you just got to grab that other angle, that other scene, and just cherry pick what you want to grab and drag it over. Okay. So now we're switching between A, B, and C at this point. So here's our establishing, and then our B, our C, A, B. We're switching between all these angles, and it's so much less boring, so much more exciting for the viewer, because you're switching between all these angles. So maybe we leave that establishing shot in, mark it, and then we come over here. And then we can just drag this guy over. And then, of course, you want to make sure you've got a good cut. Mark that, and we'll start with after come over. All right, how about we start with yeah instead? So now, maybe we put in his response here on his tight, on the OTS or over the shoulder. And we'll deal with those shirt rustles later. I'll show all of you some great tools that I use to deal with shirt rustle. That is the struggle is real on a narrative film set with shirt rustle. I'll help all of you with that as well. If any of you have never heard of Isotope RX, that's how I deal with a lot of my shirt rustle. So RX is what I use for that. So RX10. It's an audio repair tool. It's great for dealing with stuff like that.
Jacob's Boring Life said, do you guys work together or just friends? We're all of the above. She's my wife, my business partner, best friend.
And DP.
So who are these, Outdoors Ontario asked, so who are these two characters?
So yeah, let me tell you the story here. So with Wicked Panda, so we had a cast change in the middle of it, which is another reason why we were releasing it as a miniseries. So in part one, Wicked Panda, these are two FBI agents. So they're brother and sister. And what ended up happening in this story, I know you probably can't hear the sound, but basically he came over to his sister's house to steal coffee from her. She thought it was an intruder, came out with her gun. So what happened was in the story, her parents had a lot of money. Like her parents were incredibly wealthy, and she didn't have a good relationship with her parent. She was kind of like the redheaded stepchild, and he was the golden child, right? So golden child syndrome. Anyway, so because he was the golden child, when the parents died suddenly, they didn't leave her any of the estate or any of the money. They left all of the money to her brother. And so there's this feud between the two of them where, you know, it's kind of like it breaks into the story about how she's trying to figure out why they left him all the money and didn't leave her anything. And so he's incredibly wealthy, incredibly rich. He still works for the FBI. And she's trying to figure out sort of, you know, why her parents did what they did. So it's a really interesting story. So, you know, we could come here. Oh, too much. Oh. Now this, we can, again, switch that to camera A. Hold on. Make sure we're on the right thing. There we go. And if you want a solo track and just listen to specific audio for this, you can do that.
Outdoors and Ontario said, can't wait to watch it on my new OLED. Yay. Jacob's Boring Life said, if I could only break into your house, get the mouse or whatever you were using and hide that dock.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you're new to the channel. I don't know if you've seen my studio tour, but I posted a video called Tour of My Color Suite, and you can see everything that it's on my desk. So I have the mini panel. I do have the Intuos, but Wacom Intuos Pro, and I do have the editor keyboard. But yeah, definitely a lot of gear over here.
Nashville Film said, I've got Isotope RX9 Advanced, but often use DaVinci's voice isolation to remove shirt rustle, etc. quickly. Do you use it at all? It has had its limitations, but can be handy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm always path of least resistance, as all of you know. So if I can get it done natively within DaVinci Resolve's isolation, I'll use that. It doesn't handle everything perfectly, So if the voice isolation doesn't work and I need to go in there with the scalpel and be more surgical about it, I'll do it with RX10, RX. But yeah, RX is a great tool.
Doors in Ontario said, seriously, is it weird that I consider you guys friends, online friends, of course? Laughing out loud. But is that weird? Real question. Laughing out loud. But yes, I'm weird also.
Yeah, of course we're friends, man. Awesome. We're friends with everyone in the community. We love all of you and we appreciate all of you for making this community what it is. I mean, we spend so much time together. How can we not become friends? All right, so I think we move the marker here. There we go. So right here. And again, you want to make sure
Outdoors Ontario said, yay, I really do enjoy this. Very nice response.
Yay. I think I owe one of you coffee, don't I? Ontario, is that you I owe coffee to, or is that Ollie? I can't remember. I owe someone a bag of night coffee. So yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We started. So we're about 2 hours and well over 2 hours. Sorry about that, everyone. I know these go quite long. So I will stop there. And so yeah, yeah, we'll stop there. I know these go long, so but I have so much fun grading with all of you and editing with all of you. Thank you for all the chats. All of you were very active this morning, participating in conversation. We had some great 360 here this morning, back and forth. Really love you guys. Good to see you, Nash. It's really good to have you as a new member of the community. Definitely watch some of the other videos. Give them a like, comment. If none of you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe. And just a reminder again about that online film school we're going to be launching in January. We will be renting out a sound stage for that. So we'll be on a sound stage. We'll have actors. It's going to be a really fun time. So we will be offering a discount code to all of you who are members of the Nightlight community. You'll be getting a discount on the film school. Willie, good to have you. Awesome. Glad you're entertained. Yeah, it was good to have all of you this morning. Hopefully you across the Atlantic who are coming in, also in Greece. Hopefully this earlier time helped out a lot better. But it was good seeing all of you. I know. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us, with Mel and I. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for making the community what it is. Make sure to sign up for the Insider Community Forum where I post my node trees and other downloads as we create them and take this conversation further. Mel, you want to add something?
No, thank you for hanging out with us. And that was a couple hours. Let me know if this interaction is a little bit helpful to get your questions answered in a more efficient manner. I don't mind joining in, and as long as I'm not interrupting the stream. So let us know in the comments.
No, this helps me out a hell of a lot. So yeah, hopefully it helped all of you. Everyone, thank you. You have a good week, the rest of the week ahead. Until we see each other again, take care of yourself.